Hello, my friends. So sorry I'm a little bit late. I had to make sure that my internet was turned off. For whatever reason, my lives are not picking up my internet's not picking up the lives. So I'm just making sure that I'm A-okay. Happy Tuesday, everyone. We will get started momentarily. Great. I do see everything up and Adam. Hello, everybody. Thank you all for joining me today. Happy Tuesday. Again, another technical difficulties, but I think we're good to go. So happy Tuesday and welcome back for another episode of Teach It Tuesday with Tammy and Jennie. For those of you that are new to my page, apparently English is not working for me today. My name is Tammy Savello and I'm with Cards by TLC, and today is all about the designer paper. For the remainder of the month of August, which is August 2024, if you are watching the replay, Stampin' Up! Is offering a 15% off of selected designer papers or pattern paper, however you want to call it. So today we are focusing on one of those papers that are 15% off. Today we are using the Wildly Flowering designer paper. It is a 12 by 12 double-sided pattern paper. Is absolutely beautiful, and it showcases the following Stampin' Up! Colors. If you look at the back of all of our designer papers, it has coordinating colors that go with them. So we have Crumb Cake, Early Espresso, Misty Moonlight, Moody Mauve, Mossy Meadow, and Wild Wheat. So just in case you're not familiar with the coordinating colors, but look how gorgeous this paper is. It is absolutely stunning. Like I said, it's a 12 by 12 double pattern designer paper. And of course, we are going to be playing with the blue paper today. Hello, Patty. Hello, Jennie. Welcome in. So I'm a blue girly, as you know. If you're not familiar, I'm all about the blues. But today we are also playing with this Simply Zinnia stamp set. Now, this stamp set does not go with this designer paper. However, I did not have the stamp set that coordinates with this. It does come with the Wildflower Designs bundle that coordinates with this suite. But I thought that the Simply Zinnia went really, really well. And hold on just one second. I was hearing myself talk. So anyhow, hopefully you didn't hear that double echo. But the Simply Zinnia I thought went really, really well with that. So let's take a look at the project. That's what we are all here today to see. Today is a fun fold. So I am so excited. I was inspired by my fellow demonstrator, Connie Stewart. And she created this fun fold, and I really fell in love with this. I absolutely thought it was fantastic. It's a simple, easy fun fold. It only uses up a 6 by 6 piece of designer paper. So you can cut this down to, if you have 12 by 12 and make more for your buck. You can get 4 out of a designer 12 by 12 piece of paper. So let's go ahead and go over all the sizes and dimensions and all the parts and pieces. And I'm going to bring in a piece of cards or paper to put underneath just to protect my surface, because we're going to be doing some coloring today and I don't want that to leak through. And gluing. So let's bring that in. And again, all the sizes and dimensions will be on my blog post tomorrow at cardsbytlc.com. And we are starting off with a 6 by 6 piece of designer paper. We have a piece of basic white, which is 4 by 5 1/4, and that is thick basic white, because that is going to be actually the back side of our card. And then we have a piece of Misty Moonlight, which is our flap piece of our fun fold, and this piece is 3 1/4 by 10.5, and it is actually scored at 5 1/4. We have a piece of basic white for the inside panel piece. Now, if you happen to choose, this piece is optional. If you happen to choose a double-sided coordinating designer paper, if it's too dark to write on, I mean, you could write on that in black ink. I would go ahead and incorporate this piece as well. And this piece is 2 3/4 by 4 3/4. And then we have our front focal pieces. We have our piece of Misty Moonlight, and this piece is 2 1/4 by 3 5/8. And then we have our front focal point piece that we're going to be doing our stamping on, and that piece is 2 by 3 1/2. And then we have our front piece right here. I actually just used a piece of scrap paper and cut it down, but it turns out if you want the exact measurement is actually 1 3/8 by 3. So those are the bits and pieces. We're going to actually start off by cutting our designer paper. Let me bring in my trimmer. You are using Misty Moonlight right now, Jenny? Oh, that's so funny. Great minds. So for our first cut piece, if you have a directional piece of designer paper, you're going to want to rotate that designer paper to where the top part is facing towards the left. So we are going to actually start off by cutting 2 1/2-inch strips. I mean, you could do 1 inch, and then cut that in half, but I'm just going ahead and start by cutting 2 1/2-inch strips out of the gate. And we're going to be adding that to our basic white, our thick basic white. And that leaves us with a 5 by 6 piece of designer paper. So now what we're going to be doing is making our book part of our card. And we're actually going to be scoring that right in half. Since this is 6 inches, we're going to score that at 3. And be careful when you are scoring designer paper because you could rip it because it's thinner than your typical cardstock. So that is it for all the cutting pieces. Now we're going to go ahead and I think what we'll do is go ahead and do our stamping of our front of our zinnias and our sentiment. And then we're going to be stamping some zinnias on that panel piece right there, and then of course our sentiment set. So let's go ahead and get our stamping and coloring out of the way. So we're going to start with our sentiment. Worlds fail to express my gratitude. Words, not worlds. Apparently words are failing me too today. So let's go ahead and stamp that in boho blue. And I'm just going to go ahead and stamp that right on top of that paper. And it's exactly to where it fits, or it should. Perfect. And then let's go ahead, since we have our blue out. Oh, I've got to trim one thing. This is like a big key here. Going back to our trimming point before I stamp our flowers on the front of that, we need to trim 1/8 of an inch off of this. And the reason why is because you want your book to fold. So we do need to trim off just a little bit, just on this top part. And that's 1/8 of an inch. So I'm going to bring that up to 1/8 of an inch, which is right there on my scoring blade. And then I'm going to bring my scoring blade up to where this lines up with the score mark. And I'm just going to trim that off. And then I'm going to bring in my scissors and just snip that 1/8 of an inch off. And like I said, that's important because you want to be able to close that piece. And otherwise it gets hooked up in this fold. So let's go ahead and stamp our flowers on the front part of that. And we'll bring our Misty or our boho blue back in. And I'm just gonna stamp right there like so. And then just come in with this bottom half. And I'm just adding some flowers. Just something, some dimension to that front panel piece there, or the inside panel piece. I'm going to go ahead and clean off my stamp because we are going to be stamping that in Memento Black ink because we're going to be doing some coloring. And then let's go ahead and stamp our sentiment, "Thank you so much," since we have our boho blue out. Sometimes these glares play tricks on my eyes. There we go. Perfect. Okay. And then now we're going to come in with our front focal point piece. And do some stamping on that. Let's go ahead and close that up. And I'm just going to stamp it right there and cover the entire thing. And it is going to get cut off just a little bit, but that is okay. And since my stamp is bigger than my Memento Black ink, I just like to add the ink to the stamp rather than the stamp to the ink. Okay, and then I'm coming in on the side here so I can kind of see what I'm doing. There we have it. Look how pretty that, even that's pretty just by itself without coloring it. Wouldn't that be pretty? Ooh. Okay, guys, should I color it? I think I should color it. For those of you in my live chat, I would love to know if I should keep that black, like so, or color it. What the original thing is. And in the meantime, let's get my other pieces up here. You like it with black and white, Jenny? Okay, maybe we won't be doing some coloring today. Kind of give it a different look. Let's put that over the top, and then that way you guys can kind of see what it would look like. So this is black and white, and that's coloring. Highlight spots with a bit of color, but not full color. Okay. Let's try that. Okay, we have our blends, and we have light boho blue, and I have light old olive, and maybe we'll just kind of do where the shading is directly on the flower. And if we don't like it, we can always color the rest in. A little bit there. Okay. And then just kind of add. This bottom half is going to get covered up anyway, so I'm not going to worry about coloring that. But maybe that. We're going to play with this. Let's see here. Oh, I kind of like that. If you're in the chat, what do you guys think? Yes? Kind of like that. Thank you, Jenny. That's a good call. Nice way to change things up a little bit. So I kind of like the way that turned out. Okay, let's go ahead and bring in our thick basic white back piece. And we're going to go ahead and need to bring in my silicone mat. We're going to be adding those 2 strips to the side panels. And this is where Tombow glue, good old Tom. Oh, and we forgot to trim this down to 5 1/4. We do want to trim these back down to 5 1/4. Okay, because that is going to be on the side panels, just like so. You don't have to use Tombow. I just find that when I'm doing edge pieces like this, liquid glue works best. But you can use any adhesive that you want. And then I'm going to leave just a little bit of white peeking out this time. And it's easier for me to do it this way. There we go. And now we're going to be adding our flap piece to that. Let's go ahead and add our sentiment on the inside. Is that where it goes? Oh, that doesn't go right there. That goes right here. Had to see how that fold goes. Now we're going to actually add this piece to the back panel. Let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and use some Seal, a more durable adhesive, just because anytime you work with a fun fold, sometimes you want a more durable piece. And I'm going to line that up just like so, to where that leaves just a little bit of border around that. And then this piece is going to come in here. And let's go ahead and use liquid for that. Like I said, this fun fold only uses a 6x6 piece of designer paper. So you can get 4 cards from one 12x12 sheet, or if you have a 6x6 pattern that you really, really love, that would be fantastic as well. So now we're going to go ahead and add the insert piece. Now this is where it's optional. If you have a lighter inside pattern that you're using, like a tan or anything like that, you don't have to use this piece. This is an optional piece, but since I was using a darker designer paper, that works out fantastic. Hello, Lori. Welcome in. Thank you. This is a quick and easy fun fold that really showcases that designer paper. And there you go. And that folds like that. And now we are going to go ahead and add our front focal piece to this. And I really liked Jenny's suggestion on not coloring the whole thing like I did here, just some flecks of color that really makes it pop. So I'm going to add this piece to our front panel. And then add you to the front. And then we will pop up the sentiment with some foam sheets, because why not? I'm just going to center that just like so. And then I have a piece of foam sheet right here. Or you can use Stampin' Dimensionals, or you can lay it flat. You don't have to pop it up. And that lines up from edge to edge of the 3-inch piece right there. And then, of course, I did not add embellishments, but I found these. And these are the transparent adhesive back dots. And I thought that the green would look fantastic with this and give it a pop of color. Maybe one there. Maybe one right there. And we'll do one at the top, just adding that little bit of pop of color. And there, my friends, is the fun fold. Quick and easy and fantastic. And I really love the not coloring the full image. That gives it some different detail to that. I would love to know in the chat if you would love to do this fun fold, if you find that this fun fold is really, really easy. I really like it. So, I have to say that I absolutely love this fold so much that I actually have this in my upcoming class. Speaking of which, shameful plug here, keep an eye out on my page tomorrow, because I will be opening up the registration for my fall extravaganza, and that is going to be all on the details on my page. And if you are not part of my free newsletter, there will be a newsletter going out as well. Go to my blog post at cardsbytlc.com and be sure you click that subscribe button off to the right hand side that says subscribe to newsletter. That way you don't miss out on any of the classes. Anybody can join in on the fun, whether you're a demonstrator or a crafter. I welcome all crafty friends. But that is it for me today, my friends. Now, please be sure to join my dear friend Jennie on her Facebook page at Stampin' with Jen today at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And that's Stampin' with 2 N's on Stampin' and with Jen with 2 N's. But I thank you all for joining me today for another episode of Teach It Tuesday with Tammy and Jennie. I hope to see you next week here for another fun project. Oh, I do have a time change for my live this week on my YouTube channel. I have an appointment on Thursday, so I am pushing my live to this Friday, August 16th at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please be sure to check out this page for all details on that, as well as the registration for my upcoming classes. But in the meantime, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you all next week for more creative fun. Bye, everyone.